Hello again, everybody. Brian Martin on the wide world of tabletop sports here with you today to replace the previous video about the tennis tournament director spreadsheet that I've created that will automate your tennis brackets for up to 25 tournaments and for up to 32 men or 32 women. Now you can do doubles if you want to, but you'd probably make another workbook. You make as many copies of these workbooks, I suppose, as you want, and make them for singles or doubles or however many tournaments you want. But you can only do really 2 tournaments on a single thing, 1 for men, 1 for women. So here's how we do it. We set everything up first. This will come to you blank because we're not going to try and tell you what your events ought to be, but you can set up to 25 events. And once you've done that, you just put in the number and like a 1, and that means it pulls up it's the French Open in Paris. It's on clay, and it sets your brackets up to say it's the French Open in Paris on clay. So that's pretty simple. Men's auto is where we actually enter the data. You enter the player names here. The points, initial points are here. You can make them all 1,000 or whatever you want the initial number to be, and the system will generate its own. We'll talk about what the point system is in a little bit. Same thing happens for the women's side. The brackets are automatically populated based on the results that happen in these fields here. The ranking is a final report that you print at the end of the tournament to show where the current rankings are after that tournament's completed. The live ranking is really it's updated after each and every match, so you can take a look at any moment and to see how a player is progressing through the ranks and how many points they have. So this is live, and the live data feeds into the brackets and gets printed here. Okay, so pretty simple how this works. Everywhere you see these data entry fields here, where you see the blank spaces under 1, 2, and 3. That's where you enter the data. Leave everything else alone. See all these green triangles? Leave those alone. Those are formulas. You don't want to touch those. There's hidden rows here and columns. Leave those alone. If you want to look at them, but just don't touch anything in there because those are the formulas that make the system work. These are set up for 3-set matches. I know people have asked about 5-set matches. I looked into it. The programming and recoding to get the brackets to look nice and fit on a piece of paper would be a little more complex than I want to get into. So for right now, everything's 3 sets. If I feel someday I want to expand to 5-set opportunities, which mainly, for the most part, most men's tournaments are 3 sets, except for majors. And for women, I don't think women play 5 sets at all that I'm aware of. So again, in 5 sets, you're talking about 4 tournaments maybe in a total season. You could probably work around that, do those separately on a piece of paper. You could keep track of them simply by putting in the numbers. Because it's a 3-set thing, you just need 2. You need 2 of the scores to be 2 games to win. So you can make a 5-set and do something a little weird and different. Maybe you could go 0-1 and 1-2, whatever, but we'll put in some scores now and show you how this works. So let's just say you have 0-6 and 4-6, and we'll do the first 4 to show you how the brackets then. Notice how Wielander then comes in and fills in temporarily, and then once we get Wawrinka and Muster done, 7-5, 7-5, Wawrinka wins. And then we'll come over here and we'll go 2-6, and we'll go 4-6. And we'll do 6-7 and 5-7. Okay, here we go. So you notice we did that as each person wins their second match. Their thing lights up here and gets bolded so you can see the winners at a glance, and they automatically advance over. And you'll notice their point totals change. So Roger Federer went from 1142 to 1147 because he beat the number 30 player, and we'll get to the points in a minute, but it automatically updates the points for each round. And if you look at the brackets, you'll notice that everybody advances over. Wielander, Wawrinka, Vilas, and Federer. If we go to the next round and we do a 6-4, 6-4, and a 7-5, 6 love. We see that Wawrinka beats Wielander, VS beats Federer, and again they automatically move over here. And then the brackets. Now, the brackets do show differently, and I'll tell you why. Notice that 27. These two guys were in this. The top and bottom of that got flipped because the game that I use, you need to find a favorite and an underdog, and so I have them flipped for the purpose of the display here and for putting in the results. But the brackets do get them correct, and that's what some of the hidden rows do. So again, if you want to look at the hidden rows, that's fine. You want to try and figure out how I did everything, that's fine. Just don't mess with the stuff that's hidden. Don't mess with the things in the green folders, and certainly don't touch any of the brackets. The rankings, the live rankings, are all pre-programmed to work the way they need to work. And if we were to do Wawrinka and VS and go 6-2, 6-4, you'd find on the brackets that Stan Wawrinka moves all the way to the first semifinal. And if we continue that on through the rest of the brackets, everything would fill in. So you see how that works. Now, at the end of everything, you can save this. You could actually go, well, let me save this and as a different tournament. But the thing is, you have to have carryover. So the first thing you have to do to close this out is go to your live rankings, and for the women, copy the points, the name, the points, and the won-loss record all the way to the bottom. Do a Control-C or hit the copy button. Go to the women's page. Go to all the way to the left-hand side. Notice it's all here. Go all the way over here and paste those. Do a copy, paste values, or do paste special values, or whatever. However you paste just the values, and it will copy that in. What that does is it takes the final numbers after the tournament's over and makes them the new starting numbers for the next tournament. And then after you've done that, using you clear the scores. So I do it using single apostrophes, create blanks, and then you just copy and paste values using the paste value function into every place where there's numbers. Now I'm not doing it in all of the rows simply because the other rows all have the little apostrophes in them anyway. So I didn't feel the need to do that, and so they stay blank and stuff. So that's how you reset everything. So again, enter in your schedule, pick the tournament you want to play, brackets will update, go into each of the men's auto and women's auto and put in the results based on the matches. You can play them in order or you can play them out of order. Just make sure you find the right one and pull the right cards and play them out. Then the brackets fill themselves in and they print nicely. They're already set up to print all on one page. The ranking report is for the end, to show the ranking at the end of that tournament. And the live ranking is for you to keep track of and to use to repopulate those data fields here in the men's and women's auto brackets so the point system can continue to work. That is how you use this this program. A little bit about the point system. In the point system, every win is worth 25 points. Every loss is worth minus 25 points. So if Andy Murray beats Michael Chang, Murray gets plus 25 and Chang gets minus 25. That 25 points is modified up or down based on the difference in points between the two players. Right here, for example, Murray and Chang are a point apart. Murray's win might be worth 24.75 points and Chang's win might be worth 25.25 points because Chang is the 17 seed, being the 16 seed, gets a little bonus for his win, and it hurts a little more for Murray to lose. But let's look at Ivan Lendl and Juan Martín del Potro. They're far apart in rankings. They're over 300 points apart. The maximum is 300. So the maximum a match can be worth is 50 points. So let's go here and find the 32 versus 1. And we put that in, and Juan Martín del Potro wins 6-2, 6-2, massive upset, and look what happens. Del Potro gets 50 points for his win. Lendl loses 50 points. Lendl goes from being number 1, and if we go to the live rankings, he goes from being number 1 to, he still stays number 1 because his lead is well over 50 points. So he'll stay near the top of the rankings, but he probably won't be number 1 when this tournament is over unless other upsets happen with Sampras and Federer and Gerulaitis, etc. But that's 50 points. But Del Potro, who started the match at 32nd in the rankings, now jumps up to 22nd in the rankings with that massive, massive win. So that's how that works. Now let's take a look at Andy Murray and Michael Chang, the 16-17 match. Let's say that Murray beats Chang 2-4. All right. Now, the difference in their point total is less than 3 points, so it doesn't register. So it's just simple Murray plus 25, Chang minus 25. That's it. Let's take a look at the number 2, Arthur Ashe against Pete Sampras. Ashe loses 2-2. The win for Sampras is only worth 5 points because the difference between him and Ashe is so great. But Ashe loses only 5 points because, again, he's supposed to lose. He's not going to be penalized for losing to a player he was supposed to lose to, and Sampras isn't going to be rewarded for beating a player he was supposed to beat. But Del Potro is heavily rewarded for beating someone he wasn't supposed to beat, and Lendl gets penalized greatly. Similar to the FIDE ratings in chess, the formula is a little less complex. So that is how the point system works. And so you can use that point system if you like. It will automatically do the point system for you. So you can put in zeros and stuff. It will still award points. If you don't want there to be points in your rankings, after each time when you copy that live rank over, just change the points to 0. And it will still keep track of wins and losses then. And if you want to rank players by wins and losses, that would be your prerogative. But the rankings are based on points alone. And I think for those of you that don't want to devise your own point system and your own point awards and stuff, and figure out what's a win worth, what's a loss worth, etc., etc., well, then you could use this system, and you've got a built-in point system that you can use, and it will be faithful. And right now, it's showing to working out pretty well. If you look at the tournaments, for example, Monica Seles has only won 1 tournament, but she's been in, if you looked at the bracket, she's been in quite a few semifinals, and so her rank is she's the number 1 player in the world, despite the fact that she's only won 1 tournament. Navratilova and Henin, Justine Henin, they're up there near the top 2, but they've lost in early rounds, and so they got bigger point deductions, and so they're further down the list. Ivan Lendl has won 2 men's titles, but he's been consistently in the quarterfinals and semifinals in almost every tournament, so his live rank is at 1228. Well, you can see he's 23-5. He's been in he's played 28 matches, and in each tournament there's 5 possible matches. Through 7 tournaments, he's played in 28 of a possible 35 matches. So of course, if he wins a lot, he's going to be at the top of the live rankings. Monica Seles has been to 25 tournaments, played 25 of 35. So that's how this works. So anyway, that is how the program works. And once this full schedule, I've got 5 more tournaments to play. Once that's done, we will get that to you, and we'll post it on the Facebook, the Play.com Facebook page, and on the Sports Simulation Facebook page, assuming that I think Sports Sims allows files to be posted, and you can use it for your tennis tournament anytime you want. So, as always, hey, roll those dice, enjoy your games, have a lot of fun, and we will catch you down the road. Good night, good gaming. Thanks for following along. As always, talk to you later.